first book, ASK, my goal was to help people. I wanted to give them the tools and the tenets that they could use to live a better life. And so I packed the book with everything I knew. And the response I got was, wow, this book is intense. At one point I had somebody come to me and say, you know, when I read the book, I have to read one chapter and then I need to put the book down because I really want to absorb that chapter and dig into all the things that you talked about and try to implement them in my life. And I thought, boy, that's not what I was aiming for. I mean, I'm glad that that's something that they want to really absorb, but you know, you put the book down, you might not pick it back up again. So I thought, well, how can I help people get this information? Maybe if I talk to people, I could explain it better or somehow help them absorb it better. And so I thought about things like, you know, seminars and conventions. But the challenge there is you don't go to a convention or a seminar to listen to one person. You're usually listening to, you know, several people over the course of a day or two or three. So by the time you get home and you're unpacking your bag and you're going through all the things and the notes and everything, who do you choose? How do you decide what you're going to do first? And chances are you don't do any of it. So that didn't work. And then I thought maybe the key here is I need to find a way to help people become accountable so that they're doing the information, they're applying the tools and the precepts and everything, but they're not doing it by themselves. They're being accountable. So how can I do that? You know, instead of, you know, buddies or teams or something. And I thought back to, you know, mastermind groups that I have attended or been a part of. And that was the closest that I came to, was this idea of masterminds, because there's accountability usually if those are set up properly. And so I thought maybe that's the key, is I need a group of people doing this instead of an individual doing it. Instead of just reading the book, I need people to come together to hold each other accountable. And that's how the ASK CirQle was born. It's how I came up with this idea that maybe it's not an individual program, maybe it needs to be a group program. So we looked at the group idea and said, how do we get the most impact and give people the most benefit? And we thought maybe we could do something at seminars or conventions. You know, we could have a workshop or a breakout session and bring a whole bunch of people into a room and do it that way. But ultimately what we figured out is to really give people the benefit, the most benefit you can get. We had to keep the group small. And so the numbers are 3 to 7. The sweet spot's sort of 5 or 6 people, 7's the maximum, 3 or 4 is kind of the minimum to get the most impact and really make this group dynamic work. So the program is 16 weeks long. It's 2 hours a week, and that's why the 7 is the limit, because if you get more than 7 people, you start to stretch that 2-hour mark, and it really gets to be hard to do for most people. But here's the beauty of it. From the very first day, from the very first exercise, you start to make a change in your life. You start to work on, there's over 70 exercises throughout this 16-week period. And so from day one, you start to make changes. And in this small group setting, those changes are powerful. After we figured out the small group component, the last question was, how do we give people everything they need to be the most successful when they complete this program? You know, the group dynamic requires so much more than just going through the 70+ exercises or reading through a text. This workbook was already 160 pages long. It really required an interactive component. And we didn't want to just make DVDs that you sort of pause and wait or videos that you download and look at. It really needed more than that. It needed that interactive component. And so live facilitation was the answer. If you live within an hour of Denver or Denver Metro, come to you and do the facilitation live in your group setting, wherever that is. And if you live outside of that 1 hour geographical range, we do it through technology, with FaceTime or Skype or other methods that we can use to really interact live during your sessions to help manage the group dynamic and really give you everything you need to get through this program and completely transform your life. By the time you get done with this program, you will have all of these principles and tenets and tools ingrained into your life. You will be using them every day. I promise you, it is going to transform your life. This program is powerful. It's why we created it the way we did. We put specific thought into how to make this the most successful program you can possibly take, and you're not going to do it alone. And we'll be with you every step of the way.